Hey guys, my daughter just went down for a nap, so you know that means I'm going to neglect my house duties for a little while longer while I record a video. I have things that I want to update you on, things that I haven't been consistent obviously or made a video in a while, but I had an idea for a video that I wanted to make, so I said okay, I'm gonna sit down and do it. So the video that this video is going to be about essentials or must-haves for babies, specifically like newborn to a year old, who have either eczema or sensitive skin. My daughter I don't think she was diagnosed with eczema, but she had extremely sensitive skin from the time that she was born. Like, she would get really, really bad rashes if we used anything that had like fragrance in it. We had to stop using right away the laundry, what was it, like the softener or the detergent softener, I don't know what it's called, the softener, whatever they use for clothes. We had bought one from, I can't remember the brand, but it was something like Nature something, I don't know, but it was like lightly fragranced. And I remember I had like just washed all of her new clothes like ever since, like whenever I was pregnant and I had her, like we had our baby shower, I took the time to take off all of the tags off of everything and wash all of it, folded it, everything. So then once she was here, then we put clothes on her. She started getting rashes, and we figured, the doctor told us it could be the softener. So we had to wash everything all over again. We had to buy a fragrance-free detergent, which I should have done from the beginning, but I had bought I had done research and I had bought the detergent was a different brand. It was like Lullaby Boo, I don't know, something like pretty, it was pretty like generic, and it said it was like, you know, non-toxic and whatever, but it did have a fragrance. So we had to buy fragrance free and we had to get rid of those other ones. So then we got a new one. I don't remember exactly what we switched to. Actually, it was a Whole Foods brand, or yeah, it was a brand by Whole Foods. I think it was called like 365, something like that. That one was really good and worked for us for a really long time. That was the only one that worked for us for a really long time, but we stopped using it because it was so hard to just like get it, because the Whole Foods, like the only one near us was like, it's super ugly and like really, and in just like a really bad area. I didn't like going there. It was hard to go like by myself with the baby, because it's like you have to park on top and go on this really sketchy elevator, and then you can get inside the store, and it was just weird. But it was super affordable. I really loved it. The only thing that sucks though is like, which now I'll say is like, just do yourself a favor. No matter if you know whether your baby's going to be sensitive to fragrances or not, you probably should just do fragrance free. A lot of people, I remember whenever I was doing research and reading up on it, a lot of people suggested that, but I just kind of was like fixated on like, I want the baby scent on her clothes, but they already have such a wonderful scent when they're born, so you don't even have to worry about that. Honestly, just do the fragrance free, because I felt just terrible seeing her like get rashes, and then it would happen whenever also like, and it still sometimes happens, not as often anymore. She's already a year and 8 months old, but it does happen where if anybody's wearing like a really harsh perfume or cologne, then, and they hug her or kiss her, like anyone from family, that's a family, then that like causes her a rash. But I remember like she would get really bad rashes, and it was so heartbreaking. So lotion also had to do a fragrance-free lotion, fragrance-free shampoo, We weren't able to use like hardly any of the things, literally none of the things that they gifted us, except for like the Aveeno shampoo. I remember I kept that one and the lotion in hopes that we could use it because it said it was like a gentle fragrance or light fragrance, but I was so scared to use it for so long. And one day we ran out of the one that we were using, which I had bought, the pipette or something like that. That worked for a while. That was nice. But after a while, I just didn't like the smell anymore. Once I started using the Aveeno, because I ran out of the shampoo once, the pipette one, and I had to order it. I couldn't get it in the store, I think. So we used the Aveeno one, and thankfully it worked. And honestly, that's like my favorite. That became my favorite. It's like a really, really nice smell. It is just such a light, like, fragrance that honestly I don't know why, but it didn't like affect her. And it didn't cause her a rash. Thankfully, the lotion also smells really good, and it also didn't cause her a rash, which I was so happy about. So I would suggest, if you're gonna do a fragrance-free detergent, I would suggest that Whole Foods Market 365 detergent, or now the one that we use that is working well for her is the, what is that called? What is that brand? It's like the baking soda brand. No, I almost want to say like Arm and Hammer. I don't know. I don't know. I'll check to see what the brand is. And then I'll like list it in the description. But it's like a big one. It's like by this baking soda brand, and well, like one of them. And it's fragrance free, and it's also just like gentle something. I always make sure that anything that I get for her is, I try my best for it to all be fragrance free and hypoallergenic. I found that a lot of things, specifically her diapers, have to be, and the wipes have to be fragrance free and hypoallergenic. They can't be one or the other. They have to be both. If they're not hypoallergenic, they always cause her a rash. We tried a lot of diapers, a lot of them, and a lot of them we were gifted we couldn't use. We ended up having to use the Honest. Those were the only ones. Whenever she was born, we used the ones from the hospital, which were Pampers. Those worked well, but then whenever we got back, I do remember wanting to find like a more non-toxic option. So we did do Honest, but we did try a lot of different brands. We tried Huggies, we tried Millie Moon, we tried Parents' Choice, even when not that long ago. Those didn't really work because they leaked too much. But ultimately, Honest was honestly the best, not only because it's never caused her any rashes, but also, and the downside to that is that they are pricey, so it does kind of suck. But I mean, for your kid's comfort and the fact that like she's not gonna get any rashes, and the fact that like honestly with those she hardly ever has a leak unless they're like not her size anymore, unless she needs to size up. That's the only time we notice leaks. Like honestly, she goes a pretty long while where the diaper is not even heavy. It does not sag, which I hated from, I think it was the Parents' Choice diapers that we tried, or I think it was that. And those sagged a lot, and I hated that, and that was horrible. The Honest never sag, and I love that. And like I said, just they have clean ingredients, so I do love that. The wipes, we used to use the Costco brand, which was like the Kirkland something, fragrance free, also hypoallergenic, worked amazing for a long time. But then we heard that there was like a recall on those wipes, and they were like found to cause cancer, so we stopped buying those. And we started buying Parents' Choice, and the Parents' Choice are some of the only ones that are not only affordable, but they also are fragrance free and hypoallergenic, so that's really great. So if you want a good like and I love, there's like a specific one though, I'll also try to put like a picture or something, but of the ones that we really like. But there are some that are like, this time around I bought the same brand, and they were fragrance free and hypoallergenic, but the box looked different. So I thought they were the same wipes, but just like in a different packaging, but they were not. I don't like them as much as like the ones that we use, because they're not too wet and they're not too dry. And like, if you know, you just like, when you wipe, and like, you just know that there's always like a specific type of material that you like for the wipes. Like you'll find what you like. But yeah, we used to buy the Honest wipes, but those were equally, if not more expensive. It just wasn't like feasible for us to like keep up with buying that brand. So we went with that, and it's worked out great. What else? Oh, my daughter has like curly hair, like sort of like wavy curly, so I wanted to, for a long time, nurture those like curls and buy like a little cream, like a little hair conditioner, leave-in conditioner, some type of lotion for her hair. But I was so scared to try anything because and also like a detangler. Like I had so much trouble finding ones that worked for her. I only recently, after like many tries, I only recently found some that worked for her, and it was the Aveeno hair coil like curl lotion. It has like a little horse on it. I'll also like insert a picture of the name. That's worked amazing. It does have like a fragrance, but for some reason it's just so, I don't know if it's more like natural or just so light that like, and I also try not to put it in her scalp either way, but like I try to just put it in her hair and her ends. So maybe that's why too it doesn't make like as much maybe like contact with her skin. I don't know, but it works amazing. I love it so much. It keeps her curls like really, really pretty. That's worked out really well. And also there was an Honest spray, like detangling spray, that I bought that also has like a very light fragrance, but it also didn't affect her. It didn't cause her any sort of rash. So I'll also put that like in the description, which one that is. But like hair products are really hard to find when you have a baby with such like sensitive skin, so that's good. What else? Her clothes, I try to just, like I said, as long as I wash, there's no like materials in specific that like cause her rash that I've noticed. As far as like the clothes goes, I would love to do like 100% cotton with her clothes, but honestly that's not really like, I try, but like if there's something that I like for her, I just buy it. You know, eventually as she's getting older, then maybe I'll try to be more conscientious with that. But for right now, like there's no, as long as I wash it with, like I said, that fragrance-free detergent, she's pretty good. I stopped using perfume. I stopped using scented lotions. So all of my Bath and Body Works products were gone. I only use some hair products now that they do have fragrance, but as long as like I don't spray it around her, then she's fine. If I do wear perfume, which is rare, or scented lotion, like I've really gotten it down to like which ones really don't cause her a rash. Because I breastfeed too, so like not only am I holding her, but I'm also breastfeeding her, so she's like skin to skin a lot. You know, she's like just on me a lot, so I have really narrowed it down to like what I've noticed doesn't cause her a rash. If I do wear perfume, I always spray it on like the back area of my clothes, or like I spray it and then I walk backwards into it, or I'll spray it just like on my legs. Also try to do on the back so that she doesn't get like any sort of rashes from that. What else? So all of her clothes, I don't use softener. I don't use any softener. I don't even use any softener for our clothes. But the only thing that I only recently figured out was like, I have tried to find a softener that is like, or a detergent that is fragrance free and hypoallergenic, but also just like doesn't leave the clothes smelling so dirty, because the other ones with the fragrance just masks it, or I don't know if it really does a good job of taking it away, but I feel like it just masks it because it's such a strong, most of them have such strong fragrances. But I recently finally found the solution to washing your clothes with fragrance-free detergent so that they don't smell dirty anymore. That's towels, that's bedding, that's clothes. Just use baking soda. So with your detergent, put your detergent in like you would. I don't use any softener. If you're going to use a softener, just put it. But then also in your actual washer, throw in just baking soda, sprinkle in baking soda. Like, I use a ton of it depending on what I'm going to wash, so that it gets rid of like those odors. And oh my goodness, I am like so happy recently, because finally our clothes doesn't smell like still just dirty and like, what is that, like mildewy, like I don't know, it just smells like really good now. And that's like been a saving grace, honestly, because that really stressed me out for a long time. I felt like so guilty because I was like, oh, I don't like that our clothes still, I would have wash it multiple times even, and it just wouldn't go away. And I hated it, and I tried so many things, but like literally I couldn't. Before, I used to use like scented fragrance, like detergent, fragrance softener, the ocean breeze beads, whatever, Febreze beads, whatever they are. It was like, oh, I miss that, but it smelled so good. But honestly, just couldn't do that anymore with her being here. And what else? So that's that. If you've made it this far, then I can now give a few life updates. I'm pregnant with baby number 2, and I think I don't know if I already updated you guys in my last video with that, but in case I didn't, well, now you know. Yeah, we're going to Legoland this weekend, which I'm really excited about. My husband's never been. And I know it's like for kids, but like I feel like it's not, you can't compare it to Disneyland, but it's pretty cool. So we're really excited about taking our daughter there. So we're like seeing what we need for that for tomorrow, what we still need to buy. But yeah, let's see real quick if I can look at my notes to see if I'm missing anything. Honestly, that's about it. Those are all of the things that I can think of. I feel like those are the main, like, most important things that you really want to consider when it comes to a baby that has such sensitive, like, skin and eczema. As far as, like, I bought so many things that for the rash, like whenever she would get rashes, to try to take it away. The only things that worked, honestly, there was one, like, it was like a honey, I don't know if it was manuka honey or like what type of lotion it was, but it was like this little cream that would help her, but it wouldn't always like take it away completely, and I feel like it would come back. So the only thing that really helped was just like the doctor prescribed, and like they're not antibiotics, but it's just creams. I think they prescribed her something like, what was it, something oxide, I think, I don't know. But that, like, it can't be like a really strong percentage of like whatever it was that they gave us. And I remember that really helped her, but we haven't had to use it in a long time. And yeah, that's honestly it. That's the most important thing. Diapers, wipes, detergent, shampoo, hair products, skin products. Like, those are the things that you really want to have down. And no softeners. Like, if you have a baby with sensitive skin, just skip it. Just skip the softener, use baking soda, and then as you go, like, maybe you'll find, like, I've heard maybe like powders, like powdered detergents with like essential oils might be good. But I'm not sure. I was too afraid to try it because I didn't want her to get any more rashes. So I don't know, but I have heard like essential oils can be like a good alternative for like fragrances. Not really sure how it works. We stopped using like anything that had like aromas in the house, like, especially also just because I was trying to, like, I've been trying for the past year to lessen like the toxins in our home. So We used to use like all the Febreze little air sprays, air wickens, whatever. Air wicks, I don't know what they're called. The air wick ones too, I think. But no, like we got rid of all of that. We don't use it anymore. We don't buy it anymore. I recently did, because I was so tired of like our house kind of like this, it was just had like this smell. Just, I feel like I could just, especially because I'm pregnant, I feel like my hormones are just like, you know, your sense of smell is just heightened. So I could just smell this like mildewy, like sweat, like smell. Like I did not like it at all, like grease. And so I bought, like, I think the brand is called I think the name of the brand is Everspring. And it's like supposed to be a non-toxic sort of like spray for like the house, like to take away like those odors. That I've really liked, and it hasn't seemed to cause our daughter any rashes, so I'm really happy about that. But I just spray it in the air and then just try to not spray it on top of her, like around her. So I've gotten away with that, so that's been nice to like kind of have that like fresh scent in the house. But yeah, that's been nice. So other than that, I mean, I think that's it. But definitely we've been through a lot of products trying to find what worked for our daughter with sensitive skin. So if your baby has eczema or sensitive skin, those are all things that you should consider, and definitely products that you should consider, in my opinion. But yeah, so if there's any questions that you have, or anything that you want to try, if you want to share, or anything that you've tried for your kid, if they have sensitive skin and you want to share it in the comments, that'd be great. Other than that, then I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.